Hello and welcome to QuestLore, a family Lorcana podcast where each and every week our family comes to you and talks about all things Lorcana. I'm Matt,
I'm Malcolm. I'm Emmett.
And I'm Jen.
and this week, not a lot of news in the world of Disney Lorcana, but a lot of stuff still going on because DLC Toronto was this past Sunday. We were all in attendance. So first off, that's what we're going to be talking about pretty much the whole episode. Um, so let's start with how'd you guys like it? Did you enjoy the DLC? Did you not want to do any more of those? What were your initial thoughts?
I enjoyed it.
Thanks,
Wow,
Malcolm.
just a dynamite drop in.
I mean, it was fine, just. I think I picked the wrong deck.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
But
that's
did you
different
still
from how
have
you
fun?
play.
I had a lot of fun.
That
Okay.
was the question.
Because I played a different deck than I usually do. I played Baby Amber. It was fun. Just fun.
That's fine, buddy. Don't worry about that.
Squirrel, dude. Wow.
Yeah. Jen, how was your time in Toronto?
I had a lot of fun. I will say compared to Chicago, and I know I wasn't a competitor in Chicago, but just based on the fact that you being a competitor and your last round didn't even start till 9, and we were finished with the whole thing by 6,
7.
7 in Chicago. Um, like,
Toronto.
in Toronto, I'm sorry. Um, like I just have to say that I think they finally have everything figured out where, the timing of the rounds was great. Um, you know, and the location was amazing at where they picked to have it. There was a lot of food options, at least on Saturday. Sunday was a little bit iffy.
Yeah, well, that's more the city of Toronto's
Yeah.
fault, not so much their fault.
Sure, but there's, almost everything was closed on Sunday for lunch.
Especially the sad
So,
chef cafe.
yeah, so there's a lot of really great food options that were really close by, so that was great. Right across, if you've ever been to Toronto, hotel that it was in was right across from the big Toronto light up sign. So that was really cool. And I had a great time. I also really enjoyed that a lot of our listeners did come and find us and said
Two.
hello. No, I saw it.
I saw a couple.
I know that between me and Malcolm and Dad, I think probably at least 10 different people came up to us and said that they liked our podcast, or so it's nice to meet us in person. And
Yes, it absolutely means the world to us. So thank you so much
Yes.
for those that did stop by and said hi. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Great opportunity for us to actually be out there and meet someone and talk with people about Lorcana. We always love doing that. That's why we do this podcast. So.
Yeah, and so that was really really fun. And so shout out to all of you who stopped by, and even if you didn't, maybe you listened to us and weren't quite sure what we look at like because you don't you don't watch our YouTube channel or follow our Instagram. And maybe you didn't know what we look like, but or maybe you did and you were just too, shy or awkward to come up and say hi. Don't worry, we get that too. So,
Especially me.
so, um, we just hope that all of our listeners that were in Toronto had a great time as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt? Did you enjoy your time?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely, I think, better organized than the Chicago one. I mean, they've had a few opportunities now to kind of get this right. Like this was the fourth one in the states. I think the seventh or eighth one overall. So they've had a bit more practice, right? Chicago was the second one in the states, and they didn't have a lot of chances to kind of iron things out fully yet. So this one was run much better than Chicago. Everything went really fast. There wasn't that much waiting between rounds. They were really going at a good clip for the main event. The side events seemed to be going pretty well.
Yeah, and they went later because I know that was our biggest that was our biggest complaint in Chicago is that once 5 p.m. hit, there was nothing left.
Yeah.
Like there were no more side events, and that was very frustrating. And this time, we heard that people were doing side events till 7, 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and they had one going on Friday too.
Yes, on Friday evening.
But
yeah.
They had them going on Friday. They had the two new big constructed events. I think they had those in Dallas too, but they had two big constructed events going on that Sunday. We were too
busy with school.
Well, we weren't sure.
No,
We yeah
it
we
was it was it was a set five constructed event. So it's like set five was legal.
yeah
We
we
had been in Disneyland in
Hawaii.
Hawaii the weeks previous, so we didn't have a chance to build any new decks. So we
That's
were
why.
already tired from the vacation the previous weeks. So
And then I
we
had
didn't
to
do
go
that.
back to work.
But we were able to get into the sealed events on Sunday.
Yes,
Do some pack rush after that.
that was fun.
The only weird part I think about the whole signing up thing was like when we had to fill out an extra form to go to the pack rush because they wanted probably just some like data.
Yeah, sure.
Because otherwise it was like, okay, fill out this form. All right, now turn in your ticket. Like, yeah, anything I had to do with that form? No. Like, okay. So
Yeah,
just for you guys to have
sure.
data. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like no big deal. But I love that the pack rush like became an official side event this
Yeah.
time. Like that was really cool because I know we were just introduced to the pack rush by at the developers table in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we thought, wow, this is really cool. And so we've been playing that a lot with the kids. That we actually did that. We actually did a little pack rush tournament on the cruise ship. I think we talked about last weekend. We didn't know it was called pack rush. Or two pack rush. I think we just called it a 2-pack format, but now they call it pack rush. That's what they call it. So you get 2 packs, you play with those 2 packs, and that's it. It's one game, and whoever wins, that's who got the tickets.
But
So,
it was first to 15 lore.
Yeah, first to 15 lure is the rule, but it's a super fun thing to do. Like if you're, if you and a friend are just go into a store to pick up some cards. I think and you got 20 minutes to spare. I think it's a super fun way to open up your packs of cards.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
The one POV, the one person who gets an enchanted. Oh my gosh, it's an enchanted. Oh my.
Yeah, because that's the only thing is if you get it enchanted, you're literally like putting your fingers all over it and shuffling it and playing with it, and you don't even know.
Yeah, they have adapted rules. Some like we signed up for, we got our pack, and then they said, okay, here you go, sit here and just do whatever. Um, and apparently they asked us, do you need the rules explained to you? And we just instantly said, no, like we know what we're doing. We're pros at this.
Yeah.
Apparently they have adjusted the rules slightly where you can look through your cards first if you both choose to do that.
Oh.
And you can actually draw up to 7 now instead of just the 5.
Oh.
So
Okay.
there are a couple of different little rules they've been putting in. It's a new format. They're still kind of working with it, just applying some rules. But I guess it's worth it to ask, if you're doing that in the future, if you're going to Seattle or Vegas in the States or Birmingham over in the UK.
We are not going to.
No, we're not going to.
No, we're not going to go to anymore this year.
But if you're going to those and you think you know what the 2-pack rush is, maybe just ask for the rules in case they've changed them yet again, especially if you're playing with someone that you don't know. We just played against each other because at the end of the day, we were just trying to get the last few tickets we need to cross over that threshold.
Yep.
But let's walk it back.
Yep.
So we arrived late on Friday.
Unfortunately, I had to work and I had open house that afternoon until 3 o'clock. So that was, we couldn't make it in time for early. So whatever, that's fine.
But we got in. So we got in around 9 o'clock. Basically got settled in the room. I was filling out the deck list forms to get those all in and getting everything set for the next day. Fortunately, it seems like they had some kind of snafu with registration the day before, so we still ended up giving the Kristoff reindeer.
They gave like the wrong promo to everyone who was registering or something because they still got a different promo.
Okay, the Flotsam and Jetsam one.
Yes.
Okay, they were supposed to get the reindeer one.
Right, and so that's why they ended up giving.
We already had the Flotsam and Jetsam one, so
yeah,
no
so
problem
fine.
with me. So
yeah.
we've got the Kristoff reindeer keeper one now too. So awesome.
4 of them.
We got 4. Well,
yeah.
some of them.
Sure.
So we've got that now too to kind of go in the collection.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning we were able to get up, got some breakfast, and then headed down. So let's talk each about our experiences. So Jen, why don't you start off with like what you were playing, how your matches went overall, stuff like that.
Sure. So I was still playing the holding out for a hero steel song back with. Thanks, Emmett. With the Philocites and playing all heroes in the steel song deck. So little Cindy, big Cindy, little Robin Hood, big Robin Hood, had some stitches in there just to make sure I had lots of 1-drops to play right away and to use for ink. I think I had 3 flutes in my deck. and then was also playing, playing some Perditas. Um, and I felt like I was having moderate success. Um, I was generally, in my opinion, not having great luck. I had 4 games in a row where I failed to see a whole new world. And then which is devastating for me. Um, and then I think other than Steel Song I believe was the most popular, or Amber Steel was the most popular colors.
It was the one. It's the one
That
that made
made
it
it
to the most. It had the biggest, highest percentage that made it into day two.
into day
I think.
two.
I think Ruby Amethyst might have been the most popular color going into
Oh,
day
okay.
one.
Okay. And so the deck though that actually I was having the least luck against was kind of like what I would call the Bucky replacement. Like
The lemon lime.
yes. Yes. Is that what they're calling it? Lemon lime?
Well, that's just a because it's green and yellow, so it's
Yeah,
lemon lime. It's kind of a sour deck.
Yeah. So yeah, so the lemon lime discard deck is what I would call it.
Yeah.
That was kind of kicking my butt, and I wasn't getting a whole new world. Or when I had it, they would have they would have the green Ursula to get rid of it out of my hand, and so
that same thing happened to me. I don't like you.
yeah. So I just I was not having luck. Like both times I played that, I think I went 0-2. But those were the only ones I went 0-2. Everything else I either went 1-1 or 2-0. Um, but unfortunately, I think I played that one 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
Um, so it just wasn't a great matchup for me. Like I just, I don't know if I wasn't getting the cards or they were getting really lucky with their Ursulas or what. But I just, was not doing great against that deck. But overall, I ended up with 22 points at the end of the day, so not terribly shabby. Would have liked to do better, but ended up having a lot of fun.
And everyone you played, any standouts that were like, wow, this person was great, or any negative experiences?
Um, Not any really negative experience. In fact, it was funny because one person I played who was playing that lemon lime deck, like basically like every time was like, I'm sorry about this. Like I'm sorry. Like they're like I just like I know this is awful and like there was that same person I felt like in the second game when it was clear he was gonna win, you know, he could have just been rude and just destroyed me, but didn't on purpose because he knew he was gonna win and so wanted me to still keep some cards in my hand so I could still at least play and have fun. So that was nice. I wish I remember your name. I don't, but um, you know. So yeah, but if that sounds like that was you, like thank you because I really appreciate that because I know one other person I played like wasn't mean, but definitely like held nothing back.
Sure.
So
and that's fair. I mean, this is a big tournament with big prize on the line.
yes.
So not holding anything back is. I mean, there were times where I felt bad for what I was doing to some people.
Sure.
But I wasn't going to hold back.
Sure.
Yeah. Emmett, why don't we talk about you? So you were playing the Red Fossa deck.
You mean the Moo Moo deck?
Moof Moof.
Moof Moof.
Is also as it's known, but Red Fossa is a more common name for it. So it's Ruby and Amber, relying on Mufasa to hit something big when it gets hit. How did your day go?
I know your day didn't start great, right?
So the first half, not a single game win. But then we had intermission, which was
Lunchtime.
intermission. I'm calling it intermission.
All right, so we had lunch and we went over to the chef's hall and we got him a burger.
Which
apparently the cheeseburger and french fries, which by the way, so good.
I ate every last crumb.
He's apparently Jughead or Wimpy from Popeye.
Yes.
Or Augustus Gloop.
Like you feed him a hamburger and suddenly he has superpowers.
And then he just started. Then it was like 1-1, 2-0, 2-0, 1-1. And he ended up tying me, right? At the end of the day, how many points did you have?
22.
Yep, same as me. And so same thing. So what worked well for you? Who did you play against that? Like, was there any decks that you played against that you thought, wow, I love that deck, I want to play that deck, or anything that you didn't like playing against?
No, not really. I mean, The only deck that I didn't really have like a lot of fun with is a Steel Song.
Oh,
They just kept Zeusing, and then this is what they kept doing. They kept Zeusing
Mhm.
my Chernobog, and then they had fill outs with
Mhm.
a Lava
Yep.
to finish up my Chernobog. Of course it's a trade, but they also gain 2 will and they draw a card.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yep. There's ways to beat each and every deck, um, and it just wasn't
And of
wasn't your
course,
day for it.
whenever I draw for my Mufasa, I usually only got either a Lilo or Mulan that he could both kill with one hit.
Sure.
That happens for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Lilo
Tiny
time
Child's
trial.
bad when yeah, but what if it comes in exerted?
Yeah,
Tiny
that's the problem because they can take it out really easy, basically for free.
Yeah.
And then do it by sealed, and then do it the sealed that we
Well, we're
do
not
on
gonna talk about
Sunday.
sealed.
Let's we're just talking about day one right now.
Talk about day one, buddy. We'll get to
Day
seal.
one.
All right, how about you, Malcolm? How was your day?
I have the most dramatic.
Okay, dramatic. Drama.
My first 2 games, I got
No, you got a 1-1 the first
Oh
game.
yeah, they got a first game. I started off with a 1-1. That was feeling good. Then the next 2 games I went 2. Then I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0.
Apparently, again, we fed him a hamburger.
Get you a hamburger and French fries, and all of a sudden.
So.
2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 1-1, 2-0, 2-0. Apparently, then there was 2 matches left, and apparently, if I won one and tied one, apparently I would have enough to get 30 points.
And that's what happened.
What? So then I played the next person and tied, so I need to beat this next person. We agreed that whoever won the first match would win it.
Mhm.
I take my Lilo Adorable thing and put it on top of my deck. And to put good luck, I put it back onto my little counter. I draw my 7, and I see 3 Lilos. And not only 3 Lilos, and a Donald, so I could protect the Lilos. And I saw a Baloo, and a
wow.
and like a Stitch, I think.
So for that deck, for the aggro deck that you were running, that would be like considered drawing like the nut hand. Like
Yes.
that's the best hand you could probably start with. You
Yes.
just empty it out, get everything out there, you're questing.
And you got 2 bodyguards to protect. Like that's nuts.
So yeah, that's.
And
So you're able to get the 30 points. You get
So-
a maximum ticket, so
Yeah.
that was awesome, buddy.
Yes, we're
Great
super
job.
proud of you, Malcolm.
Wait, Malcolm, tell them about that game. Can you tell them
just
about
did.
We
that?
just did.
Play a Lilo, play 2 Lilos, play a Donald, play a Baloo, and a Stitch. I win.
Like that's it.
No.
Yeah,
You
that was
still,
it.
what about the Tiana and the other Lilo stuff?
Those were different
That
games.
was a different game. Another thing too, I want to mention, like I know I didn't say it when Emmett was talking, but the fact that Emmett got 22 points, like stayed with it. There were a lot of people who did drop that were losing those first 3 games. And as far as I know, he was one of the youngest, if not the youngest kid there.
Very possibly.
Like there was a kid that was littler than him. I ended up playing him, and he's 10. So I asked him. I was like, "How old are you?" He goes, "I'm 10." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was just wondering because my son's 9, and I just was wondering. And so like he was one of, if not the youngest kid there, and so for him to do that well, like I was super proud. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, there was someone I played on the second day that played Emmett.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, can I talk about
No,
it?
yeah, let Dad talk about it.
Because while I was playing her,
Yeah, I don't think it's who you're thinking about.
He walked up to me to like tell me about something. I'm like, dude, I'm playing. And when he walks away, she just goes, I played your son yesterday. I lost to him too. I'm getting beaten by 2 members of the same family. So yeah. And then with Malcolm, I had somebody that's kind of local to the region here that was playing. He's usually a pretty good player. He was talking about how Malcolm got me on one of them. Like he was just like, he put that Tiana down. It was exerted, and there was nothing I could do. It was just shut down my whole deck, and he wins. So, good for you, buddy. He's a pretty good player. I think he made it. Actually, he made it to day 2, I think, in Atlanta.
Wow.
Actually, so.
And you went 1-1 with him.
So it's pretty good. So good job on that overall. Anything else you want to add, Malcolm?
Yeah.
About day 1?
I wish it was a 3-game
Yeah, sometimes it feels that way, man. It feels like, man, if I could have just had the next one.
Yeah.
Feel like I could have had you. So for me, I didn't do as good as I did in Chicago. So I started the day like just in Splitsville, like 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, just consistently hitting 1-1s. Eventually got a 2-0. Actually, I think my second game was 2-0, but then after that was just 1-1s for like the next 4 games.
And then you ate and apparently made you worse.
Yeah, and then after I ate, I just fell off a cliff. I mean, I was still in Splitsville, and then eventually I ran into a steel song deck that they just got everything they needed. And then the last match I had was Emerald Amethyst, which is like a kryptonite to my deck. Which starting the day I felt like good going against because that was my first matchup was Emerald Amethyst, which is like was built to counter Ruby Amethyst.
Right.
Right. And I go up against them first, like shoot. But I was able to go 1-1. I'm like, okay, great. That's all I need. And then I go 2-0 against Emerald Amber deck. Probably the only negative match I had the whole one. He used to be a Bucky player. And was just like upset about the whole Bucky thing. And then that's probably where I also was like abusing the rabbit the most. It was like at least 3 turns in a row where it was like rabbit bounce, rabbit bounce, rabbit bounce.
Rabbit bounce.
So I had like 10 cards in my hand, and he's trying to make me discard like one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, buddy.
Like so you need to play like 50 games now.
I have a feeling that he just like assumed he had like this amazing.
Well, people had to pick something up after Bucky, right? Bucky ends as soon as set 5 begins.
Mm-hmm.
That made it really tricky for any Bucky player if you weren't trying to practice before Bucky went away.
Yeah, because that's also a super like Bucky. It wasn't a super tricky deck. It was an easy deck to play. You just have to remember to draw off of your Diablos. You had to remember to tell them to discard a card when you played a Bloodborne. But that was it.
It was just hard mulliganing for
But then the new one's a lot trickier. There's a lot more to it. So if you aren't very familiar with your deck and what to play in what order, it is tricky to play, and that's why I do feel like there were a lot of those decks that I was playing against because they weren't winning that much because they were still getting used to the deck.
Yeah, and they had no chance to practice, right? Because you probably were playing Bucky all the way through the month until
the Friday before
Shimmering Skies came out because you were doing set championships in July. Then Shimmering Skies comes out beginning of August. You're not going to have anyone to practice against unless you got some kind of internal practicing group because everyone else is going to want to play the new stuff, which isn't going to be legal, which wasn't going to be legal in Toronto. You had this like 2-week period where like that's all you could practice, and then there's no one to practice against because everyone wants to play the new stuff because it only affects these 1,000 people that were going to be playing in Toronto. So super weird day, super one-off, like that 4.5 tournament. They just didn't have a chance to practice with any of those decks. So that's just kind of how it rolled out for them, which is unfortunate, but it's just kind of how it is. They probably should have just made set 5 legal for Toronto. Should have been what they did. Either let Bucky live for Toronto or make set 5 legal for Toronto.
Whatever, I'm not mad. I didn't have to see
much. So a lot of games. I had fun each and every one of them. Whenever you go and you're playing 9 rounds of Lorcana and then you're ready to play again the next day, it kind of goes to show that this game is just fun.
It's just fun. Well, and especially because of the fact that that they ran it so well this time, and we were done by dinner time and still had our evening to ourselves. Like we got to go out and like see the city a little bit. So that was it was really cool that we still had time to have like a fun evening in a new city because I mean I haven't been to Toronto since I went there in 8th grade with my class field trip to go see Phantom of the Opera, and I think I only was there like once before with my family when my dad was on like a bowling trip. I don't know how many times, like how often have you been to Toronto? Other than for work.
Other than for work, I hadn't been there for any other reason. It was just only for work.
Okay.
That was more I spent my time on the outskirts of Toronto,
right?
So not really much in the city. It's a cool city.
Yeah, and the boys have never been.
It'd be really cool to explore more. We didn't have a whole lot of time because we were stuck in a hotel playing Lorcana, but nothing wrong with that.
I will say though, if we did it again, I would try to park our car outside of the city and take public transit in because it is like worse than New York driving around in Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know. I never actually drove in New York because the same thing. We parked somewhere outside of New York and drove in.
Sure.
We probably should have been the play here, but we were just trying to get there.
And we had free parking at the hotel with our credit card,
so there
it wasn't even a thought on our mind.
So before we leave set 4 behind, let's go just down the table. And what is your favorite card?
I feel like that's where we're going here, Matt.
What was your favorite card from set 4?
Piglet. Well, starting with Mom,
the Swordsman Piglet. We can start wherever we want.
Yes.
A Swordsman Piglet, Malcolm?
Yes.
Okay, Swordsman Piglet for Malcolm. Emmett, how about you? You got one?
I don't even know what's in my deck from set 4.
So Phil would be.
Oh yeah, Phil's the big Phil. Yeah, of course.
Phil's amazing. I agree.
Yeah, Phil is my number one.
So there was Diablo.
Diablos.
Oh, Diablo. Oh yeah, Diablo, definitely.
Yeah,
Diablo.
the big card draw Diablo. Which I gotta say, you know, that's something else. Like Emmett was so good about when he played his Diablo. He always remembered to draw his card, and like there's so many.
Except for like Joe and Melissa things. I only kind of remembered
with the original card draw, but still, like, there's so many adults who would forget to card draw off of Diablo, and Emmett is really good about that. Yeah. But yeah, Phil changed my whole deck. That was, the whole thing that I did. Like, I love, that was. Even though I've now gone back away from it to try out some of the new.
That was me.
I don't play Sisu.
Rubies, right?
No,
the Sisu.
No.
Yeah. I would probably say the one I kind of like playing, although I didn't play him I didn't play it for most of the set. The big Sisu. The 8-drop legendary one that just kind of it's like a one-sided. Be prepared if they got low-cost characters.
Yeah.
I really enjoy whenever I play
it's
that.
2 and under, right?
Yeah, 2 and under.
Yeah, that kicked my butt last weekend a few times.
When you combine it with like the ice block, you can do some real damage. It's a really cool card. It hits pretty hard. You have to have a 4-hitter to get rid of it. Doesn't die to Madame Medusa. Quest for 3. Really cool card.
Turn of Hawkins survived it. But Turn of Hawkins survived.
Oh, it's about getting rid of it.
I think there's only like 2 cards that can hit and get rid of Turnabog by themselves. I think it's the new Gaston from set 5 and Goofy.
Super Goof, right?
No, the Goofy Knight for a day.
Oh, right. The night one. The 10-cost one.
No, 9.
Yeah, 9 cost and he hits 10.
That's right.
Turn of Hawkins plus 10 cost. That's just
right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
All right.
Wait, he's a night card, right?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Right? He's a knight? Okay.
He's one of the only 3 cards that were knights prior to set 5.
He has knight in the title. I would hope he's a knight.
Yeah. He's a knight. The
Him,
prince dressed up like a knight is not a knight. Goofy
is a knight.
So
is Big Cindy.
Big Cindy, Little Cindy,
and the little 2-drop Cindy.
Then Cindy Knight in Training.
Yeah.
And now you have the dwarves are all knights. That Snow White is a knight.
Yes, the new ones from
the Donald Duck in a food fight is a knight.
Of course, because why wouldn't he be a knight when the prince dressed up like a knight is not a knight?
Right, exactly. None of the other princes at all.
Piglet. No, the Piglet's not a knight.
Not any of those princes where he's fighting in the forest are knights. That Piglet is a knight. It's weird. Anyways, but
if that Piglet was a knight, I would probably have him in my dwarf set.
Probably.
So that day, though, we said goodbye to the set 4 format.
Peace, Bucky.
Bucky is dead. Set 4, that format is gone. Can't say thanks to Bucky that I enjoyed it that much. We are on to set 5, which seems to be full of excitement.
Yeah.
And so that morning we slept in. And just tried to catch up on some sleep the day before. So we didn't participate in either one of the 2 big constructed tournaments that they had going on.
The side of it ones. Because we couldn't because we didn't want to wake up early.
Right.
And we couldn't stay late. So.
Right.
Also, I did play a set 5 constructed deck against one of our side plans.
So yes,
sure, but
that was we'll get.
Let's
you
talk
didn't
about.
have a set 5 deck. He did.
He did. You didn't.
But
let's talk about.
Anyways.
But let's talk about our Sunday. What we did. So once we got up, had some breakfast, made our way down, counted up our tickets, figured out what we needed.
Yep. The the two big constructed events were already going on, and based on like when we left, one we probably could have done. Done the 8 o'clock one, but we would have been up super.
We didn't want to wake up, so.
Though I will say, so boys, just in case you're thinking, hey, I only see adults up there at the big tables. Only adults are winning. A 13-year-old won one of those two big tournaments.
No way, that's amazing.
13-year-old playing a Blurple deck.
A Blurple, really?
What's Blurple?
Blue purple. Won that event.
That's amazing.
So congrats out to him. So.
Blue purple.
Blue purple. So it plays like the Tamatoa item stuff, but it also doesn't it?
I don't know what his deck specifically was playing, but yeah, you're playing
usually
Tamatoa.
but then you're ramping. Also playing the bouncing and the card draw and the castles.
Basically, it's let you play the Sapphire ramp without necessarily having to play Hiram because you have rabbits and
right.
But you can still play Hiram. You can wait. I just thought of an idea for that. So you pay for it, play Hiram on turn 4. Gain your items, gain your cards, quest for Hiram for 2, get your
Hiram quest for 1.
The quest for 1,
so,
and then you bounce them to get rid of another item and you're on more cards.
And then you put it back in play.
Exactly.
Another item.
Exactly. That's basically what Blurple does.
And that's what you could do.
Sure, but it could be other things. But that's awesome. The 13-year-old one, amazing.
Yes, so that was a 13-year-old one. So congrats out to him. Lots of different decks. In fact, the top 8. I believe for one of the two events, I don't remember if it was for both of them, but for one of them, the top 8, it was every deck in top 8 was a different color. Or two different color combinations.
Nice.
So no same deck. So that
shows.
So while it's really still early in the set, like it shows that hey, there is a lot of differences out there.
And you have to remember that side of it was set 5 stuff. So we might not know how Blurple in set 5 will work exactly yet.
My guess is that one of them was Amber Amethyst.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure that was up there. I know Green Steel I think was second.
Yeah.
So even that is still around, even though Bucky is not.
But so anyway, so we decided not to not to do either the constructed big events, and plus another like 9-round event after doing one.
Yeah.
Was also a lot, especially because they were both starting school the next day. I was also, going back to starting school the next day as well as a teacher. So we decided not to. We were hoping to maybe just get into some drafts and stuff, but then we noticed that morning that there were a few openings for the 11 a.m. sealed.
Well, I would say we noticed there were a few openings. It was, I woke up at 7 and
to
noticed there was checked and there was one opening. So I signed up myself for that. And then spent the next 4 hours constantly refreshing the page until enough people had dropped so I could add Malcolm. And then another person dropped and we were able to add Jen. And then 5 minutes before the event starts, another person drops and we were able to add Emmett.
So we were able to
get in. So for those that are like, when you see those side events sell out, the morning of, people are dropping because they realize, oh, I've been playing Lorcana forever and I don't want to play anymore. Or, oh, I need to go home. Or, oh, I'm actually doing well in this constructor tournament. They will drop out.
Yes.
So you can just keep refreshing and you can get into them. I'm not saying it's a foolproof way, but it's definitely do not give up hope. The 4 of us were able to get in.
Yes. And I'm sure we were not the only ones.
Yeah. There were plenty of people because that number was jumping up over 128 quite a bit. The only thing I will say is that, hey, I asked if they close the registration, go down and ask the event organizers if they could reopen it. Because
they wanted to
be essentially full. What we did. Like, they closed it.
Yeah.
And then when I went down and talked to them and was like, hey, it says there's a spot open, and I get in it. Like, well, I closed the registration because I thought it was full, but here, I can open it up, and if you're able to, you can. And that's like when the floodgates open. Like, I was able to get into it. People were dropping. Other people were getting into it. So if it says closed, like, go and ask.
Yeah, because they're usually pretty cool about it. Because they want to sell all the tickets. They want to make the money.
Yes. And so we were able to do the sealed event that started in the morning.
Yep.
That's where you get 6 packs of cards. You make a deck of 40, which means you got to get rid of 28 of the cards that you pick.
You don't have to get rid of 28.
You got to get rid of the 28 cards that you from there.
You don't. Like,
you should.
The rule is that you play at least 40. He's saying have to. That is not the rule. The rule is you have to play at least 40. You can get rid of but you could play all of them if you want. We don't recommend it.
Yes.
But I think I ended up playing at 43 because I ended up putting a couple things back in that were played against me in the first game that I realized I had taken out and thought, ooh, that that was bad for me, so I should put those in my deck.
48.
So let's start. Malcolm, um, how'd you do? What was your record?
So I win 2-1.
Right. So it's a 3 game format in this best of 3, not the 2 game stuff. Basically, every time you win a game, you get 4 tickets. If you go 3-0, then that last game is for 7 tickets. So Malcolm went 2-1. What would you say was like the best card that you played? Like what was your MVP card from the sealed event?
I don't. Zazu.
Zazu, the 3/5, the Emerald 3/5, evasive that costs 5 and unthinkable. Yeah, it's a pretty good card for sealed, especially in this format.
But I just want to talk about this crazy play that got played against me. So there's this Tino, I think his name is. Cheapo card. So when you play him, you can ink another card. So this person plays it because it's like a common or uncommon, I think. Okay. So that's sad. Tipo. Oh well, he got 1 point. He plays the Madam Moon Elephant, bounces Tipo back, and plays him again.
Yeah, jumping up a couple inches.
Well, which sucks for me.
Plus that elephant is a bear to deal with in this format.
Next turn, she plays she plays the Tipo back. No, she didn't play the Tipo back that turn. Plays another elephant. 2 elephants in 1 sealed?
Yeah, that can happen, man. And there's some people that just get lucky draws.
That is super lucky.
Like you can build a deck, you can be really good at building a deck, you can be really good at playing, but if someone just got better cards than you, there's nothing you can do about it because you're set with only those 64 cards.
60 cards.
60 cards.
No,
72 cards that you had, so it's 32 cards you gotta get rid of.
Yeah. But it's not done yet. So they're up at like 8 little ink, or like 8 or 9 ink. They play the legendary genie, which makes it so my cards can't exert.
Oh yeah.
That thing was so ugly.
So it's just all my cards are just stuck there.
Yep.
Only when he's exerted.
Yeah.
No.
That was fun. Yeah, that's what it does.
Yes.
But if they do it, like you can't do anything with your cards. If he's on the board, you can't do anything with your cards because then he's going to exert every time and just not let you do it.
And so the only people you can attack him with are your new ones, the ones that were wet last turn.
Yep.
Or if you have an action. So, my all-star was, what's the name of that card that just gives you 2 random lore for no reason whatsoever?
Knowledge and Wisdom. That's my favorite card.
Knowledge and
Wisdom. Coupon for 2 lore.
Yes, coupon for 2 lore.
Hello, I'd like to start this coupon, please. 2 lore.
That was I won 2 games because I pulled that out at the end. And like I was at 16 lore and I could only quest for 2, so they figured they'd just leave me alone. And I just had it in my hand.
Sure.
So I'm like, and both times I would just look at them and say, "You're gonna hate this," and they're like, "Why?" And then, so I quested, dropped that out, and I won the game. And they're like, "Oh, I should have killed that guy."
Who was the guy?
I don't even know. There's somebody who quested for 2. The thing is, like, he was wet. Like, they did get rid of everything else on my board, but like they said, like, well, I don't know. I have an action. Like, they had some kind of action. They could have got rid of it, and they're like, you need 4. Like,
you're okay. I'm okay to just leave you be. So.
Yes, and that was some cheeky lore.
Yeah. I thought it was sneaky. Yeah.
Oh,
we like cheeky.
We like cheeky better. Like the British. What's his name?
Baker.
The British Baker.
Not the British Baker.
Oh, his name is Baker.
His name is Baker.
Baker, who broadcasts for a lot of the events. He called it cheeky lore, and we love that because we love pretending to be British.
Yes. Emmett.
What?
Whoa.
Scratch the floor.
What was your best card?
I didn't really have one.
No. How'd you do in the seal event? Did you go 1 and 2? Is that right?
First round, yeah.
No, overall.
Oh yeah, 1 and 2.
Okay.
I went
2-1.
No, because so my first match, I was like, it was weird. Like we were 1-1, and then our last game went overtime, and we went to turns, and it ended up being 19-18, and I had the 18, so I assumed that I was gonna lose, but they made us draw.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to lose.
I think I was supposed to lose too.
Yeah,
but like
I saw that.
he made us draw, and he did it on his end. Like we couldn't even do it, and we split it. Like we had both said as soon as time was called that we were gonna split the tickets anyway.
Okay.
So he's like the fact that we're going this far, like, do you want to just like split the tickets no matter who wins? I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Like that's cool by me. So we were already gonna split the tickets anyway. So it was more just about like, you know, whether one of us would be 2-0 or not.
So you went.
So I had a weird split, and then I lost the second game, but then won the third.
So you went 1-1-1.
Yeah, I went 1-1-1.
Weird. For me, my MVP was the Emerald Chromacon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had that too. That was really good for me too.
That was
really good to they would remove one of my guys, a lot of times trading, and then I would just bounce one of their other guys back.
Not the Emerald one. I had the Amethyst one, the card draw one.
Yeah, so that one lets you both draw a card.
Yeah, mine that one was really nice for me.
Yeah, mine is whenever they destroy, whenever one of my cards is banished, I think on their turn, like I get to bounce one of their cards back to their hand.
Right.
So they couldn't remove one of my cards without removing one of theirs from the board.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out pretty well for me. Like the 2 games, so I went 2-1. The 2 rounds where I won, like I basically steamrolled the other person. Like afterwards they're like that was playing against a constructed deck. There was one time where it's like she had enough on the board, like I had to wipe out her entire board in order for me to win, or she was going to win the next turn. And she was just like, "There's no way you can do it. They're all evasive. They were all evasive characters."
Mm-hmm.
And I was only going to be able to take out like one of them of the 3 she had out there, and by challenging. So I challenged to take out the one, and then I used Glimmer versus Glimmer to take out another one with like taking out my 1 drop and taking out like one of their 5 drops.
Right.
And then I used You're Welcome, have another one of my guys sing You're Welcome.
Yeah.
To get rid of the other one, and then I played something else to like just widen my board super wide so that I had like 5 characters on there, quested with the rest, and then she was like, I can't believe you dealt with that board. Like I didn't expect that. That's like playing against constructed people. Yeah, you got it. There's nothing I can do. And the same thing happened with like my 3rd game. It was the middle game where I had trouble. And that's where I said it doesn't matter how well you build a deck. If someone draws better cards, they draw better cards.
Yep.
And I've never seen someone draw as good as this on a sealed event, right? They had the legendary Mufasa. They had the legendary Clarabelle. They had the legendary Arthur. They had like the Robin Hood that you get to play for free if you've done damage to their other side, which I couldn't have possibly foresaw coming, right?
No, right.
So they play that, and then that's like a 4 quester that they've got on the board for the next turn. Like,
yeah.
He just was able to steamroll me because basically he got great quality cards.
Yes.
And
he got them early, like he got them when he needed
right,
them.
Right, there's 4 of those. That's like 10% of your deck.
Yeah.
Right, so it's like you're gonna see one of them. And he got it. He had great cards. He was a good player too. Not to say anything. Well, the fact that I got one of the games from him, that we went 2-1 on our best of 3, I'm like, I'll consider that a good victory because, woof. I didn't when I was building the deck. I barely had anything that were 5 or 6s. It was all my 5s were all like I had like 3 Zazus in my deck. It's cool, 3 big body invasives, but I didn't have anyone that could actually hit for anything. So, but it was still good games. So we went through the sealed. We got a bunch of tickets from that. We realized we needed just a few more. So we went and gave these guys another burger and Emmett Pizza so that we could earn those last tickets. Really just went back, paid for pack rushes, which is basically paying for 2 packs.
Yeah.
And went and played that really quick. Just playing against each other, so we guaranteed our ticket. Had enough tickets to grab a mat, the Cinderella play mat, as well as the Cinderella promo card. Took those and headed back home.
Yeah.
Dada.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk about how my matches went.
Yeah, you did.
We briefly talked about it. Yeah.
Okay. What else did you want to say? We asked you how you did, and you said you went. You said you went 1-2.
I didn't get to tell
Yeah, we asked. Well, all he asked was what was like our one card that we got that we played really well. But if you want to talk more about yours, go right ahead.
So for my middle match, I was playing this guy, the same person that Dad played first.
guy who was salty. He wants to talk about that.
Okay, we don't need to go into that though.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Some people just, they lost their deck that they were training in. I totally understand how they were going to have a hard time. There was a lot of people like that. I probably would have been upset too if I lost the deck that I had been playing with for 3 months, and suddenly I get to a big tournament and being told, hey, no, nah, you don't get to play that. So I get it. That ended our time in Toronto. Winner ended up being Amber Emerald, going up against Steel Song. The Amber Emerald won, took that home. And we went home, and then started the long drive back home.
Yep.
So I guess the question is, that was our DLC experience. Would you guys do another one?
Yes.
I bet they can't hear your head shake nodding.
Yes. Yes. I also have a cool idea for a con. Set 6.
All right. Well,
No. We're
not
gonna
for
stick
today.
with. We haven't even gotten through set 5 stuff yet.
Yeah, we haven't talked about like our weekly play yet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, but yeah, so we had. I loved it because in Chicago I only got to do the side events. So I loved it. I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't feel exhausted like after 5 rounds. Like I thought it went really, really well. And yeah, just had lots of fun. Like it's like you said, it's such a fun game to play.
Yeah.
Like even when you lose, you have fun.
Yeah.
So
even after a whole weekend of playing Lorcana, I was just like instantly starting to think, all right, what do we do for set 5?
Yes.
How can I get more practice in? Like I wanted to get on Pixelborn, connect, and start playing on there right away. I'm more energized about the game than ever before. It's a good thing that tickets for Seattle went on sale the next day, so I didn't have time to talk myself into convincing Jen to go to Seattle for one more.
I just go with you.
The tickets are on sale and are sold out. They sold out instantly, like they all have. So there is no chance of it. I can't do anything about it.
Sure.
So
I shouldn't tell you that. Somebody we played last night said that they just went on the website randomly last weekend to see if there are any Las Vegas tickets, and there was one, and he grabbed it.
See, this is that energy that you're putting on me right now. That like, oh, look, I accidentally planned a trip to Disneyland. Guess we gotta go.
Yes, we gotta go. Oh no, there's a Disney cruise during our spring break next year. Ooh, and it's going to some places we've never been before. Oops.
And it ends at a TLC.
Holy crap! What if?
I don't know.
What if there was a Lorcana cruise, man?
Oh, Lorcana, Disney Lorcana
Disney
cruise.
Would that be?
Oh my god.
Like the DVC cruise from last year,
Yeah.
the Disney Vacation Club cruise. The creators were on that cruise.
Oh yeah.
They were teaching people on the cruise how to play Lorcana.
Oh really?
Having, like little tournaments with them and everything.
What if like?
Oh hey, listen.
Listen.
Okay.
Okay, no, I've got the plan. Like all the events, like every day, like there's Lorcana trivia and like stuff like that. And then like on like the 3rd or 4th day of the cruise ship, it's a TLC. Why do I keep saying that? DLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll say if anyone from Disney or Raffensperger is listening to this, or even if there's other creators that want to reach out and maybe put something together, just remember I'm a teacher, so I can only do it during summer and Christmas break.
Yeah.
But they don't do those specialized cruises.
I know, when they usually don't, but you never know. They might do something in June, or I don't know.
Lorcana DLC cruise.
Or
I'm definitely looking forward to when they release them for the next season. Will there be more of them? Will they be bigger? Will the rules change? It's like I'm hyped and I want to know about them. But I know it's going to be so long because after this set ends, so there's 3 more. And after these 3 are over, basically, so they'll have nationals in December and January, and then Worlds probably in February and March. So we won't hear about the next one until after that. So it's almost disheartening that it's going to take so long. And all we'll have is the set championships.
Yep.
Hopefully there's some other stuff that they'll announce. Because they did say they're going to give out all of those serialized Mickeys. And based on the number that they've given out so far, there's a lot they still have to give out. Now, they could give out some at the nationals that they're doing for the Continentals, the European and American Continentals.
Right.
could give out some then, but there's a lot more to give out.
Yeah.
So how are you getting them? And how do I sign up for it? I will go on a cruise by myself if that's what I have to do.
Heck, even if it's like a 4-day cruise, like over the weekend, like I can do that. I can take 2 days off in a row. Like that's fine.
Yeah, I can go to Facebook Lodge.
But
what?
A whole week on.
What?
I think the point is that even after a full weekend of Lorcana, Monday we were probably all just sleepwalking. But
yeah,
you know,
at school.
But I think it was Monday night, and like Emmett's like, "Hey, we're doing Lorcana on Wednesday."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was like, "Oh shoot, I've got
2 days.
We got 2 days to get all the cards going and get decks going for set 5." And so, quickly putting them together and putting whatever spice from set 5 we could into decks and building new ones.
Like ducks.
What we did. And on Wednesday, we went to our local Wednesday league and started up there, which was a good time to do it because they were starting the next like set.
Yeah.
League
yeah.
stuff to play for the next 4 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't whisper, buddy.
But you know what? And it was great because there was a ton of people there. Like I think what was there like 20? There was over 20 people there.
There was a lot of people
on Wednesday night, so that was amazing. So
let's start with Emmett. You said you didn't do that well, but what were you playing, and what was your favorite kind of new card to play with?
Dwarf deck, and my favorite new card was either Queens. Queens aren't new. Oh, you mean like set 5 cards?
Yes, set 5 cards.
Oh, then if you mean set 5 cards, then the 5-drop Snow White.
5-drop Snow White. She gets resist for nights on board.
No, either the 5-drop Snow White or the mines.
The mines.
But except for there was one problem with the mines. I never got out the map of Treasure Planet with the mines.
Ooh, that would have been nice.
Yeah. But so you didn't do that well with it. Did you enjoy playing the deck at all?
I loved it. Just I'm never gonna play it again.
But maybe we need to sit with it and maybe tweak it a bit. See if there's anything else.
Like when I was putting it together, he was really hard. He had his heart set on a dwarf deck, so I really wanted to put one together for him. But even when I was putting it together, I'm like, man, this is like a complicated deck. You're really gonna have to think through the line. So I kind of gave it to him and like gave him some basic beginners, but kind of felt like this was going to be a one and done deck. I don't think it's strong enough, and to make it strong enough, you'd have to be like really, really practice with it, or really, really see the lines really well.
You know, it would have been strong enough if you put the Bashfuls in.
I don't think you lost because you didn't have Bashful in your deck.
But those Bashfuls are so good.
Okay.
What do they do?
I don't know.
The night one, if you have a Snow White in play, it has Bodyguard, which can protect plus all my other dwarfs plus my location. And
it doesn't protect the locations. Bodyguard doesn't protect the locations.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
But is there one I wonder if there's a.
I don't know. Location Bodyguard would be interesting.
There is. It's the wall. If you have a person
exerted
at the wall, you can't attack other locations.
That's right.
And then the other one is Amber that was in set 2. QuestLore 3, but can only be played if there's another 7 dwarf character in play. So I can just play 2 of them at once.
Calm down, buddy.
Get a little
so we've got a little bit of time, and we'll take a look at your deck. We'll make changes to it, or we'll switch to. You were talking about wanting to go back to red and green evasive.
No, that's what I'm doing.
You're going back to red green evasive.
Yes, he wants to go back to evasive. Is what he wants to do.
Okay, so we'll build that, and we'll get there.
He's trying to put you to sleep.
We'll get back to the red green evasive, and we'll get you something that you can feel a little bit better pilot.
All right.
That's kind of the trick when you're building decks for children, right? You have to make something a little bit simpler, especially when they don't have as much time to practice as some other kids might have.
Not that these kids aren't smart as a whip, but
getting really good requires a lot of practice.
A lot of
time to watch things, and they're busy kids. They've got guitar lessons, and they've got a play coming up they're trying out for, and they've got all sorts of friends and other interests and hobbies that they want to do, and we don't like limiting them to only one thing. So we're not going to sit here and like whip, you should have mulligan better, just mulligan practice for hours on end every night.
Okay. So anyways,
Jen, how about you?
So I'm still sticking with Steel Song. I just love it. I am considering putting together, maybe doing a Robin Hood deck. But haven't done that yet. Haven't sat down to put that together yet.
Question.
Maybe this weekend. Nope. Don't interrupt. Let me finish, and then you can ask me a question. Okay? Thank you, bud. But I went back to more of a traditional seal song, took out the fills, so I didn't have to rely on heroes, and went more with the princess and queen seal song deck. Put back in the 2 drop and 5 drop, or 1 drop and 5 drop queen that shifts for 2. And then I also put in the new, what's it called? Is it the Queen Scepter?
Queen Sensor Core.
No, the Queen Sensor Core. So have a few of those in, which, I only had 2 in, and I am definitely putting 4 in because they were a knockout. Like, for sure, because I have, almost everybody in my deck, um, is that. Um, and then I think only a couple of cards I have in there are not a princess or a queen, so I'm running some Smees in there, with the pirate piglets. So I think those are the only things really that are in there that are not princesses or queens. Oh yeah, and the Prince Naveen. Oh, because we only have one Naveen. That Naveen though. Oh man.
Like,
No, you guys haven't listened to this play. I don't think so.
I'm gonna, because it feels better coming from me, right?
By the way, I ended up doing pretty good. I think I went, because we play 4 games there.
It was 2-game format.
Or doing a 2-game format. So I don't even remember how I did, but I feel like I did pretty decent. I think I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and then I think I went 1-1, and then 0-2 to him.
So we got paired up together. I'm playing an Emerald Amethyst deck. One that's all about tempo and bouncing.
And Clarabelle.
And the Clarabelle.
It uses the new Clarabelle, which is what we had.
And the Genie, right?
No.
No,
not the Genie, no.
The Clarabelle and Ursula.
That's the big Ursula. That's the big monster.
Moo.
Right,
but we were playing against her because I shifted, like, I thought this is such a great move. So she had Ariel out, and that's the only person that was out, I think, at the time. And so I shift the Ariel.
No, shift the Ursula.
On top of the little one that steals songs, right? I'd already stolen, I think, her whole new world. And so I shift Ursula on top of the little Ursula. I think I used that to take out another character.
You did. So she had 2 damage on it.
Right. It had a couple damage on it, and I'm like, sorry.
Oh, you took out my little Cindy, I think, maybe, or something else. I don't know what it was. Maybe my queen, because you didn't want me to shift the queen.
Or something.
Maybe, yeah.
It had to have been.
No, because Smee would have been a 3, so I think it's the queen, because the queen's 2/2.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah.
I took out one of her things. And I'm like, okay, when she's out, you can't exert anyone to sing. Ha ha ha! Against a seal song deck, like, that seal's pretty good. Like, you got a weakness, and I'm exploiting it because you can't sing. Ha 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 ha. And then next turn, and she's like, okay, so I can't exert anyone to sing, right? I can play songs. I'm like, yep.
And then
I'm not even thinking about what she could be doing.
But then I said, okay, well, you're gonna hate this, and you're like, okay.
Like, whatever.
Whatever.
Thinking at the very least, well, it's fine. She plays for a song. She pays for a song. At least I'm making her pay for it.
Nope. I played the Naveen, and then he allows me to sing any song less than 6 costs for free. And I just happened to have a Zeus in my hand. And so since he used the Ursula to take out my queen and already had 2 damage, that Zeus killed his Ursula.
Yeah.
And he just looked at it, looked at his Ursula, looked at me, was just like, son of a bee.
It was a really good play. I was just like, I mean,
because his play was so good, and then I just like matched it with my own amazing play.
Yeah, it was like, wow. Okay.
Especially because I only have the 1 Naveen in my deck.
Yeah. So that was Jen's game, and then myself.
But he ended up winning anyway, but it just felt so good to make that play.
And yeah, I'm playing it. I played with completely different colors away from Ruby Amethyst to Emerald Amethyst.
So you're still using Amethyst.
Yeah, you're still playing tassels and crap and bouncing.
Sure, but like, my removal is bouncing things back to your hand.
Sure,
right?
that's
it's not as much. I'm not trying to use Madame Medusa or Tremaine, the King Undisputed. Be prepared. It's not there. I don't have that panic button. It's more about disrupting your tempo a little bit earlier, and just kind of chipping, questing away with lore, and then finishing with go bounce.
But like, bouncing is one thing he likes that he's always stayed with. You've always stayed with song. I've always stayed with throw down as much stuff as I can quickly.
Yeah, just throw it on the board.
And
So
You kind of play a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I played everything. I played Aglo. You played Aglo, Bucky's,
discards.
Yeah.
And so I mean, but the deck went pretty well for me.
Aglo's the one thing that I haven't played.
No, you played.
The basic decks are
was
Aggro.
Agro. Yeah, for sure.
But my deck went really well. I went like 2-0-2 on the night, so 1-1 against an aggro deck and 1-1 against a Mufasa deck. But I was able to 2-0 Steel Song and 2-0 something else.
And playing against like some really good players.
Yeah, there were some really good players there
that we played a lot before that have kicked our butts in the past. So
yeah, so it was a good first outing with the deck. And then Malcolm, how about you?
I'm playing Ducks.
So you've got
Daisy, which I want daisies in my deck, but we don't have enough, and I'm kind enough to let him have them.
Well, that's because my deck needs daisies the most. Yes, that is true.
We've got more coming in, okay?
Well, Malcolm only had, can I tell you a story? Yesterday, Malcolm only had 3 daisies, right? Sure.
Yes.
And then I was slowly opening up my pack. I put my bottom 3 on the ground. On the ground.
On the table.
On the table. I picked up the first one. It was like a stupid layout. Like, I think it was like one of the... No one cares about the stupid
Aster, can you just tell him? Get to the point of the story.
And then right next to my foil, I saw a daisy. So I immediately... Three of us were just fighting over it because I thought I was going to go back to Ruby Amber, but then I'm not.
Okay, so the fourth one will go into Malcolm's deck, and Daddy has done some online trading to get some more so I can put some in my deck.
Yeah, so they're on their way.
But the thing is, but I know me and Malcolm played a game beforehand, and man, he got so mad.
Because I kept using the daisy, and she would always draw a character, but whenever I used the Chronicon, she would always draw something.
It made, he was so mad because every single time he quested with the daisy, I got a character. When a third or more of my deck is songs. But then when he would draw the card for the Chromacon, the Emerald or Amethyst Chromacon, because I can draw too, that's when I was drawing my songs. And he was very upset.
Yeah. But playing with set 5 first time, fun time.
Fun.
Can't wait to get back to it. Almost upset that we have to wait more time before we'll get a chance.
Yeah.
Because this weekend, our local store that we normally play at on Sundays is doing a draft. The boys are going to go to that. We got a wedding to go to. There's a store near us that plays on Mondays. I was like, I didn't go there. But
yeah, but
Labor
it's
Day.
And it's the Popper one too.
No, they're doing regular now on Mondays.
Oh, are they doing regular?
Yeah, they're doing much more casual. Where it's just go and play for however long you want.
Oh, nice.
No tournaments though, so it's kind of like you got to talk with people and agree to play with them and stuff like that.
I see.
But that means you can also just go up there and play for a couple of hours, play a couple of games, then come back and you got to go to bed.
Sure.
And then Wednesday, Malcolm's got open house, so it's hard to just find time to
No, that's Thursday. Wednesday is open house and their auditions.
Yeah. So.
And then Thursday is curriculum night for Emmett.
Yeah. So it's just hard to find time to get games you have
to do on Wednesday. We have open house.
Okay, honey, I don't think everybody at home needs to know that. That is our business, dude.
Yeah.
We are just busy this week.
We're just saying we're busy. It's hard to get in those games. And it's when you're so excited about the game, I just want to be able to play. I'm like, man, I'd love to play. I like to even stream games and stuff like that. Would all be cool things to do, but just no time to do it. So.
Nope.
Speaking of no time, we are out of time for this part of the episode. Let's move on to move on to our trivia round and go through that. All right. So from Disney Magic Trivia, first up, which animal character in Dumbo was the first to receive their baby from the stork?
Holy moly, that's hard.
I have a feeling it's the hyenas. Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't think it's the hyenas. It could be the hyenas. I like his answer. I'm going to say the tigers. I'm going to say the hyenas.
I'm going to say the lion.
Not lions, not tigers, but...
Bears? I would feel... Oh, I thought bears, but then I changed my mind when he said tigers.
And bears, oh my. I'm pretty sure hyenas were like the second.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm gonna switch around the order of questions just so that we can get ones that you know as the last ones.
Okay.
What are the names of the 3 clans in the film Brave
No
who
idea.
traveled to Dumbrook?
No idea.
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, and Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
This is a Disney podcast.
Oh,
Don't bring your crazy wizard stuff here.
I'm so sorry.
Save that for the
for the Disney Facebook groups where that think that that Harry Potter land is a Disney World.
Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars.
What is it, Dad?
It's Dingwall, MacGuffin, and Macintosh.
I was gonna say Macintosh.
Mac and Wash.
Macintosh.
Okay.
Macintosh.
What attacks Mater in the Tokyo bathroom in Cars 2?
The toilet.
Yeah, the toilet.
I mean,
no, it's a spy thing, isn't it?
Not.
Is it the same? Is it just water?
It's. I mean.
Is it plumbing?
You're saying everything but the word. Like, what would a fancy toilet have?
Oh, a bidet.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's a bidet?
The bidet. It's
not
not for this podcast.
We'll
that's a question for after the podcast, boys.
I didn't think about the fact that question would come up. Huh.
I didn't think that there was. Is that like the only new Pixar movie that monsters think that features in a bathroom?
I don't know, man.
It's a weird question.
Strange question, man. All right.
Fun fact about Monsters Inc.
No, whoa. Okay, no. You had your tangent for the day, dude.
No, we're done. In Lady and the Tramp,
Shoot.
Trusty the Bloodhound has lost one of his 5 senses. Which sense does he no longer have?
Is it smell? It's either smell. I think it's smell. No, everyone says something different.
Taste.
Smell. A sight.
It's smell.
Okay.
Okay. Just wanted to telling us.
All right.
I thought it was smell too, but he told me to guess something different.
Here is your softball one.
Okay.
In what state does The Princess and the Frog take place?
New Orleans.
That's not a state, Emmett.
I think it's Hawaii.
Okay. I'd say the real answer. Hold on, Emmett. What state is it? New Orleans is the city. What state is it?
You haven't been to this city.
What is the state called?
In this state.
All right, Malcolm. What is it? What state is it? Say it again.
Louisiana.
Yes.
I don't know Louisiana.
Correct.
I didn't know
Louisiana. Okay. So, even with no news, we went long today. So, coming up in the next couple of weeks, there will be some lore discussion. We'll go back and talk about the lore. They actually released some stories to kind of connect the cards just today.
They did today?
I knew we had all this to talk about the DLC stuff, so I didn't want to go into lore.
All right.
I also didn't have time to kind of put images together like I normally do. Because it was like late at like 3 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, we wouldn't have time.
So we'll go over lore that we've seen from Set 5, some of the lore that they've dropped. There was some lore that was actually posted on the walls at E23 that I took pictures of that weren't in anything else. I think they were just on the walls at D23.
Was it like the Piglet?
No, nothing like.
Was it the King Oswald?
No. That's a different game, man.
What?
Different game.
Well, I want them to add Oswald with the clown and Lorcana also, okay? Okay, not just Epic Mickey.
Epic Mickey, it's a different game.
Yes, I know. I'm going to have to buy that game just because it has Oswald in it.
Yeah, I figured.
So anyways,
so we'll be going over lore in the future. I'm sure that eventually we're going to get a trailer soon for the next set.
Please, I want to see that trailer so much. Please, Robin Booker, please.
oh my God, stop.
And then spoiler season will start up again, and we'll probably be going over some more terms that are coming up, all that kind of good stuff coming in the future. But for now, let's close out the episode with a thank you so much to all of you for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always catch an audio version on all major podcast platforms. If you're listening on a podcast platform, you can catch a video version where you can see our faces on YouTube. QuestLore is all you have to search for in both of those instances. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment, review, whatever way you can choose to interact with us. Feel free to do so. You can send questions to QuestLoreQuestions@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at QuestLorePod. Sometimes I remember to post things there. You posted a bunch of stuff from DLC Toronto. I know I was actually good about that this past weekend, so you can find that stuff there. So once again, just thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Figment the Imaginary Dragon for Lorcana!